Good day and welcome to another exciting day. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon right in the city of Ilaro. And this is Poly TV Ilaro. And on this particular program, it is Poly TV newspaper review and analysis. We'll be looking at various national dailies across Nigeria and telling us what happened on the scene. I am Samuel Lanio and I'm not alone.
My name is Femi Afolabi. You're welcome to the Poly TV studios. This is time for news, paper review and analysis. And also I want to welcome you back to your trading and official post after a 4-day rest at home due to the Easter holidays that the federal government declared. Welcome.
All right, so let's get straight to it. We have with us today Nigerian Tribune newspaper. We have with us The Punch. We have Daily Trust newspaper as well as The Guardian newspaper. So on the front page of, let's start with the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper, on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, it says 10 months to election, opposition fights to stay on ballot amid legal internal conflict. 10 months to election, opposition fights to stay on ballot amid legal internal conflict. And also on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, Obi's team alleged plot against 2027 candidacy as presidency kick. Obi's team alleges plot against 2027 candidacy as presidency kicks. Still on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, World Health Day concerns over health funding, sustainability as US exit leaves $1.9 billion deficit. World Health Day concerns over health funding, sustainability as US exit leaves $1.9 billion deficit. And finally on the front page, bandit plan reprisals in Zamfara as Plateau Benue death toll rises. For more of those stories, you can grab a copy of the Guardian newspaper.
And from the Guardian newspaper, I take us right to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, Daily Trust, with the screaming headline, 2027 ADC weighs options. 2027 ADC weighs options. We have another story there. World Health Day funding gap persists amidst fresh health workers strike. World Health Day funding gap persists amidst fresh health workers strike. And on the masthead of that newspaper, there are minor stories extraying 3.3 trillion naira debt payment to power sector. Also, you have another story, how student was stabbed to death in Nigerian varsity. And lastly, on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper today, despite hunger, Nigeria named Africa's top food waster. Nigeria named Africa's top food waster. That is on the masthead of the Daily Trust newspaper today. You can grab a copy and read more about those stories.
Away from the Daily Trust newspaper to the world of the Punch newspaper, on the front page of the Punch today, it's a very quite interesting story. Federal government budget, 135 billion naira for 2027 election lawsuits. And it has a rider that says opposition order questions massive post-election legal war chest. PDP, ADC demand spending breakdown. For more of that story, you can grab a copy of the Punch newspaper. Still on the Punch newspaper, doctors begin strike today over arrears. That can be found on the page 31 of the Punch newspaper. Oyo APC governor aspirants meet over 2027 consensus deal. And for more of that story, you can turn to the page 21 of the Punch newspaper. Still on the Punch newspaper today, coming from our own corridors there in Ogun State, I went through L under Mosun, that's coming from the former governor of Ogun State, and that's no other person than Senator Benga Daniel, the former governor of the Gateway State. I went through L under Mosun. That is on the page 21 of the the Punch newspaper, and many other stories are there.
And I take us to the front page of a Tribune newspaper. Tribune today is full of stories. The front page is full of stories, and the particular one that was given prominence has to do with the problem with the ADC and INEC. And the story headline, 2027 INEC plots to stop us, ADC. 2027 INEC plots to stop us. That is the ADC talking about the crisis. It is credibly engulfed with the INEC. And on the masthead, there is this minor story. Federal government orders probe as indigenous badge shrink from 83 to 8%. And on the masthead, Atiku to Tinubu, keep your words to stop killings. Atiku to Tinubu, keep your words to stop killing. Another report, insecurity now national emergency, says Obi. Insecurity now national emergency, says Obi. And down below the masthead, we have another story. Police officer, 2 others killed as security forces repel attack in Katsina. Police officer, 2 others killed as security forces repel attacks in Katsina. Why Tinubu ministers linked to 2027 contest failed to resign. Why Tinubu's minister linked to 2027 contest failed to resign. Those are minor stories you can find on the front page of the Tribune newspaper today.
All right, so let's quickly examine the major stories across the various national dailies that we just read out this morning. One thing seems to be very peculiar across all the national dailies, Femi. On the Guardian newspaper, we saw a very interesting story. It's political. It says 10 months to elections, opposition fights to stay on ballot amid legal internal conflict. And also, it was captured in the Nigerian Tribune as 2027 INEC plot to stop us. That's coming from ADC. On the Punch, federal government budgets 135 billion naira for 2027 election lawsuit, while Daily Trust captures it as 2027 ADC way options. All the major stories across the national dailies seems to be talking about the 2027 elections. What's your take?
You cannot remove the fact that as we draw nearer 2027 elections, we will have updates, we will have happenings around political parties, as it were. And particularly now that ADC seems to be having serious challenge of leadership with INEC. And I want to tell you that as at present, we have about 21 political parties registered to take part in the 2027 election. Of course, out of these 27, we have the big ones, the PDP, the Labour Party, the ADC, the ANPP, and the NNPP up north. And quite a lot of that. But all of them, virtually all of them, has one problem or the other with their leadership or internal crisis, and of course, those that were not prominent, the parties that are not prominent as now, that doesn't mean they don't have what they are battling within themselves. But I tell you, the crisis within ADC, and I hope the party will position themselves early enough to resolve the crisis with INEC. All this front and back between them will not do the party any good in 2027. As at now, like the Daily Trust mentioned, that the party is weighing options available. In fact, within the party, there are divisions. There are the divisions of opinion. Some members of the executive and some members of the party were saying, no, let us outrightly boycott 2027 election. And a group was saying, no, if you boycott 2027, what will be the position of our members who are aspiring to be anything within the political environment in Nigeria? And another option was saying, okay, let the party go ahead with the shunning the INEC and going ahead with the congresses and all their meetings that they've had. Of course, INEC has written that it will not honor or enter into honor or receive any correspondence from the party to it, from either of the faction, the Balanofiu faction or the David Mark led faction. So the party is at the crossroad now. A group of members were saying, don't go ahead with your decision to organize all the congresses, because that's a booby trap at the end of the day. Whatever you do at the end of the day, it will become null and void and you will not be registered. That is why Obi is crying now that all these shenanigans were being targeted at him so that his name will not be appeared on the ballot.
Okay.
So if one of the options that is available to it, that is being recommended by some of the party members, to the effect that all of them should go to another party en masse, go and register another party. what becomes of the executive of those parties that they are going to. Because that's exactly what led to this crisis. They were coming from Labour Party, from PDP, from everywhere. They now joined ADC without taking the necessary cognizance and follow the due process to rectify everything to make it perfect before they assume leadership. Now it is furore.
Okay. Thank you, Femi, for that insight into the 2027 general election. We have just about 9 months or 10 months to go to the election, and the polity is really eating. I mean, it's really eating high from the north to the south to the east and to the west. All right. Another story that is worthy of mention is on the front page of Nigerian Tribune. That story says Tinubu Adeboye eulogized Daniel on his 70th birthday. What we also have, I think, from the Punch newspaper, I went through hell under Mosun. That's coming from the former governor of Ogun State. That's Senator Benga Dan. And then you quite agree with me, Femi, that the former governor of Ogun State, Benga Dan, happened to be a very sworn, I don't want to say enemies or political rival to the former governor, also a senator, Senator Ibikunle Amosun. At the point in time, they were really not at the very best. They were not really the best of friends. But as it stands now, they seem to have reconciliated. And then at the birthday celebration that was held that's the Thanksgiving service that was held just yesterday at the Abraham Cathedral in Shagamu. The former governor was saying, he mentioned, it was right there on the scene, and he said, "Oh, Amosu is now repentant." He's not repentant.
Well, you can. That is what you expect from politicians. In politics, they've told us and repeatedly that there's no permanent. What do you call it? Permanent interest. That is interest. There's no permanent thing. You see, politicians will always want to be politicians. When they find themselves in position of authority, what will be paramount in their mind is what they, at the end of the day, bring out of the position they were, either for the generality of the people or to boost their status, their selfish purse. But definitely, let me tell you that there's no permanent enmity among themselves. There's no permanent enmity. You can see that from between Amosun and, of course, Benga Daniel. Benga Daniel's 70th birthday, let's give it to him. He's been around for quite a lot of time, and he's a performer. He's a very good leader. He's a very good leader. And in fact, when he was in the States, you can see the landmark achievements and project and everything that he did when he was there. And of course, when Amotu took over from him, it was to a great extent. The two of them are great leaders. And I want to use this medium to congratulate OGD, Otumba Benga Daniel, for his 70th birthday. Yeah, more wins for him in the land of the living. So that particular event was another political playground yesterday, because politics really manifest there. You know that he's in the Senate. Benga Daniel is in the Senate, and of course he wants to continue. And there will be shenanigans, there will be side politicking here and there. But I want to wish him well. Anything that he does to the great and the betterment of the society. Congratulations, OGD.
All right, the entire crew and staff of Poly TV Laro as wishing the former governor of Abia State, the Gateway State, Senator Benga Daniel, a happy birthday, happy 70th birthday. And we can only pray for long life as well as prosperity for you and your household. Straight to another interesting story on the front page of the Punch. There's a story that says doctors begin strike today over arrears. There's been, I think, before now, the National Association of Resident Doctors, as NARD, have been on about 50-day strike or so, and now doctors are also going to be joining them. What
these arrears, the arrears of salaries and emoluments, which has led to another round of industrial action by resident doctors. It's unfortunate again that all these crisis problems are coming directly to the general masses, because already, even when there was no strike, the health sector in Nigeria continues to suffer, and many people do not really have confidence in going to the public hospitals and seeking public health, as it were. They rather prefer to go to private hospitals. And how many people can really do that? because of the poor economy. How many people can really do that? So people were at the mercy of the various hospitals, but there was nothing there. Now that the strike is on, it will only lead to more deterioration of public health, and of course, people will suffer again. There's another very, very close report. Today is the International What Day, the International Health Day, and in fact, there was a report that even despite the fact that funding issue is in the health sector, Nigeria is the number one waster of food of Nigeria. And let me tell you, your health, what you eat determines your health. To a large extent, what you eat determines your health. We are talking about no drug, we are talking about malnutrition, and of course, food is being wasted here and there due to the default, no fault of the generality of people, because there's no infrastructure even to keep this thing, to keep them safe for quite a number of time. We were talking about no electricity, even to preserve what you have in the house. And when you go to our various markets, the many food supply, many food items, many fruits are being wasted because there's no market for it. There's no adequate market to take care of every other thing. So the public health is wasting, is deteriorating, and this new round of strike by resident doctors will not do anyone. We want to implore government to come to the rescue of the generality of the people by looking into the cries of the resident doctors, give them their due so that at least everything will go normally as it should be.
All right, once again, I want to thank you for your time for joining us on Newspaper Review and Analysis. Happy World Health Day to all doctors, to all health workers, as well as to Nigerians, wherever you are. Femi, thank you for coming on the program today. And I am Sam Molalani. Bye for now.